A massive blaze. The firefight continues in the Pacific Northwest as residents are forced to leave their homes. The latest from the Eagle Creek fire lines. And he may have picked the wrong customers. Police arrest a state fair goer for what they say he tried to sell to plainclothes officers. We'll tell you in this.
I mean, it's crazy. Like, the hurricane hasn't even gotten here yet, and there's trees falling everywhere.
Hurricane Irma shifts dramatically overnight as it moves toward Florida. We have the latest right now. Good morning, I'm Fernanda Lopez. We start this morning with a live look at Florida's eastern coast. This is just above Miami as Hurricane Irma inches closer after making landfall in Cuba, causing devastation. The now Category 4 storm has regained strength and is poised to bring life-threatening and historic storm surges to the west coast of the state. Meg Oliver has the latest from Miami.
Hurricane Irma's outer bands are pummeling parts of southern Florida with heavy rain and powerful winds as the eye of the storm creeps closer to the state. Already, more than 200,000 homes and businesses in the area have lost power, including a high school in Key West used as a shelter.
I've seen a lot of people that were borderline crying, wishing they would have left. I've asked a lot of them, why didn't you leave? And they said, I didn't think it'd be that bad.
Irma is expected to rip through the Florida Keys as a Category 4 storm today before unleashing life-threatening winds and deadly storm surge, especially along the west coast.
Do not think the storm is over when the wind slows down. The storm surge will rush in and it could kill you.
Although Irma has shifted west, here in Miami, forecasters say the city could still see a storm surge of 4 to 6 feet.
Amid the uncertainty, Florida residents flock to evacuation centers.
We're stupid. We should have come to the shelters a day or two ago.
Donnell Rogers Jr., his daughter Gina, and their family pet are hunkered down in this St. Petersburg school.
I hope it goes by pretty fast so we can get home fast.
Irma's new projected path is putting St. Petersburg on track for a direct hit. Meg Oliver, CBS News, Miami.
Now, Irma is forecast to stretch into Georgia, the Carolinas, Tennessee, and Alabama. President Trump has already issued emergency declarations for some of those areas. And we'll be tracking Hurricane Irma as it continues to develop. You can stay with News 13 on air and on the KRQE app. Now let's get a look at the weather right here at home. Here's meteorologist John Smith.
Good morning. I hope you're having a great Sunday. We are going to be looking at a very nice end to the week, and as high pressure builds in, we are going to limit storms mainly to the northern mountains, and there will be spot storms at best. So most of the state staying dry to end the weekend, and then we watch for a cold front to start the upcoming work week. That's going to bring in a better opportunity for showers and storms for portions of the state that haven't seen any over the past few days. Now, temperatures today into the 80s for the most part across the north. Down to the south will be in the upper 80s to near 90 degrees, and we are looking at a very nice setup for Albuquerque as we head through the afternoon. Lots of sunshine on the way. After a cool start this morning, we'll warm quickly to 80 degrees by noon and then into the upper 80s as we head into the afternoon. Lots of sunshine on the way, but that cold front is going to bring in a better chance at showers as we start the work week. I'll have details on who can expect those showers coming up.
And this morning, we're working to learn more about a SWAT situation in a northeast Albuquerque neighborhood. Police say officers were at a home around 7 last night in the area of Paseo del Norte and San Pedro on Ranchitos. The suspect involved reportedly threatened a neighbor earlier in the day with a weapon. No word on that person's name. We'll bring you an update as soon as we learn more. And this morning, a man is waking up behind bars after deputies say he caused a SWAT situation over domestic violence Friday. Witnesses say they were exiting I-40 at Carnuel and noticed a pickup truck with its passenger door open and a limb sticking out. The witnesses say they then saw a woman in the truck screaming for help. They followed the truck at high speeds to Old Road and called deputies. Now, when deputies arrived, they say it took 2 hours to get Ryan Rodriguez out of a home, which is the victim's home. Now, deputies say they found the victim inside, severely beaten, and claimed Rodriguez dragged her inside the house against her will, strangled her until she passed out, and pointed a gun at her. Rodriguez now faces kidnapping and aggravated assault charges. A man is facing drug charges this morning after police say he tried to sell pot at the state fair to a pair of officers. New Mexico State Police say 2 officers in plain clothes were standing at the south parking lot on the fairgrounds Thursday when Paul Chama approached them and asked if they wanted to buy some, quote, green. Police say Chama pulled out 8 baggies of marijuana, offering $10 for each. Now, one of the officers pretended to go get some cash at an ATM, but really told his sergeant what was happening. That's when Chama was arrested. After facing a judge, he was released on his own recognizance. A man will soon get a 3rd trial after getting convicted of murdering a New Mexico family with a pickaxe during his 2nd trial. The Santa Fe New Mexican reports the convictions against Nicolas Ortiz have been overturned. He's accused of killing Lloyd and Dixie Ortiz, who have no relation to him, and their son Steven, while trying to burglarize their El Rancho home in 2011. Ortiz was just 16 at the time. His first trial ended in a hung jury, but during his 2nd trial, he was convicted of all 3 murders. Now, Judge Francis Matthew has ruled there was a fundamental error during the trial and agreed to retry Ortiz, who's now 23. The judge did not elaborate on the nature of that error. The Eagle Creek fire continues to cause havoc along the Oregon and Washington border. The blaze has already scorched more than 33,000 acres, and officials say it's the top firefighting priority in the nation. Some people have been forced to evacuate their homes, and a major interstate has been shut down for more than a week now.
I know that this closure has been difficult for people's lives and challenging for Oregon's businesses. It's a priority for me to get it back open as quickly as possible, as safely as possible.
Now, at last check, that fire is only about 7% contained. Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto has declared 3 days of national mourning as relief efforts in southern Mexico continue this morning. The death toll from the massive earthquake has risen to 65. Thursday's 8.1 quake off the coast of Chiapas caused thousands of homes to collapse. Many people who were affected are still wary of returning indoors to weakened buildings, fearing they could be brought down by aftershocks. Take a look at this. Kilauea, the world's most active volcano, sent streams of lava rolling down a 30-foot cone. The spectacular lava outbreak came from a break at the top of a huge mound just above the cliffs. The eruption, dubbed 61G by the USGS, began in early 2016 and has been entering the ocean nearby since summer of last year. The Rio Grande rivalry, Lobos versus the Aggies. The 2 went head-to-head last night. We'll show you how each team fared coming up. Plus, a special guest, a former Lobo football player and NFL star, was at last night's game. Who it was and how the university honored him.